Okay, as I said, this is our masterclass on how to sell romantic Italy. And we all know romantic Italy is quite famous, is quite common when we think about Italy. Generally, is always known as a romantic destination. But romantic Italy, at least, is not just a niche product. Is one of the strongest emotional drivers in travel. Italy is where people come to celebrate love, milestones, anniversaries, honeymoons, of course, proposal, second honeymoon, and just because journeys. Today, we are not talking about cliche. We are talking about how to sell romance as a curated experience, elevated, private, and most important, deeply personal. Romantic travel is one of the strongest emotional segment in tourism. Clients rarely ask what is the cheapest option. They probably ask you, will this trip be special enough for us? This is why romantic journeys naturally lend themselves to a higher budget and fewer compromises. Clients are not buying nights in an hotel, they are celebrating something important for them and in their lives. For travel advisor, this means less price pressure, of course, and more focus on quality, storytelling, and of course, personalization. For us at Inti Travel, it means creating experiences that feel effortless but deep. Romantic travelers today are incredibly diverse. Yes, we still have honeymooners, as I said before, but they are often older, well traveled, and also looking for something unique. But we also see anniversaries, milestone birthdays, and couples traveling simply because they want to reconnect or they want to celebrate a special occasion. Many of these clients have already been to Italy, maybe for their previous honeymoon, who knows. They're no longer interested in must-see list. Let's say the very first trip in Italy. They want moments that they feel personal and intimate for themselves. Understanding who they are help us design itineraries that feel bespoke rather than generic. And this is when we ask your help because you are the one that deeply know your clients better than anyone else. And you are the, the one that can filter their needs to us. This is very important. Romance in Italy is not about grand gestures alone. It is about atmosphere, rhythm, and emotion, of course. It's waking up in a quiet town before tourists arrive. It's maybe a long lunch that turns into an afternoon conversation. It's beauty that does not demand attention, it simply exists. When selling romantic Italy, we must focus on these intangible moments. This is where Italy truly differentiates itself from other destinations. Iconic romantic destination. We probably all know those already, and if I would ask you, you would definitely say Venice, Florence, Amalfi for sure. In effect, classic destinations like Venice, Florence, the Amalfi Coast, and Lake Como remain incredibly powerful. However, they must be sold correctly. Venice, for example, should never be presented as crowded or hectic. Instead, it is about private moments, early mornings, hidden canals, exclusive palazzi, and quiet corners. And like in Venice, we have a couple of hotels outside the main island, and we generally recommend these hotels for all those travelers that are coming for a romantic escape in Italy, so that you can stay outside the crowd. And when Venice became empty, because as you know, Venice gets crowded from 9:30, 10 a.m. in the morning until 5 p.m. Then most of the people are leaving. So for the tourists, you could explore during the low hours Venice and have it for yourself. Florence became romantic when art, history, and personal experiences blend seamlessly. Ah, that's kind of a hard word for me. Amalfi is not just scenic; it is theatrical and emotional. And Lake Como is elegance, privacy, and understated luxury. The destination is only the stage. The experience is the performance. This is the most important thing. Of course, there are also other great destinations that are beyond the classic. And this destination could be for repeated travelers. For them, romance often lies in the unexpected. They've already been to Venice, they've been to Rome, to Florence, to the Amalfi Coast probably. So finding something new, like the Tuscan countryside, especially the Valdorcia, offers a slower, more introspective form of romance. Piedmont combines wines, great wines, landscapes, and authenticity. Puglia, very famous lately, offers intimacy, simplicity, and warmth. And last but not least, for sure, Sicily, especially off season, is emotional, it's dramatic, and deeply cultural. These destinations allow travel advisors to surprise clients, and as we know, surprise is one of the most powerful selling tools. Romantic experience that sells. Which are those experiences that sells in a romantic trip? So romantic experiences are often remembered more vividly than the destination themselves. A private boat at sunset, a candlelight dinner in an historic courtyard or in a place with a great view, a wine tasting in a family-owned estate, or who knows, a cooking class designed just for two and not for a group, that creates a very intimate moment. The key element here is privacy and personalization, because luxury does not always mean expensive, it means feeling considered. These experiences should feel natural, not staged, and perfectly timed within the itinerary. Romantic travel is about value and not discount. Clear, itemized pricing helps clients understand what they are investing in. It also reinforces transparency and trust. This approach makes it easier to offer upgrades, special touches, or alternative options without any pressure. When pricing is positioned as part of a carefully curated journey, clients feel reassured rather than hesitant. At Intertravel, we see ourselves as partners and not suppliers. Our romantic itineraries are never prepackaged. They are built around the couple, around the story and their expectation. This is the reason why we often ask you for more details. That the better, as we say, right? Because this is what helps us creating and crafting the itinerary. Our long-standing relationship across Italy allow us to deliver experiences that feel authentic and seamless. Dedicated assistants ensure that every detail is handled with care before, during, and after the journey. One of the most common mistakes in creating romantic itineraries is trying to do too much in the same days or in the same day or in the same trip. Too many stops create stress, fatigue, and are going to break the emotional flow that we are trying to build. Generic hotels reduce the experience. Rush transfer destroy the sense of romance. We need to allow them more time. The trip is not their first trip, probably, and they need to breathe the Italian atmosphere. In order to do that, of course, we need to pay attention also on timing. Romantic travel requires spaces, time to enjoy maybe that lunch or that cocktail, time to breathe, time to connect with the people, or time to connect with the destination itself, you know. Sometimes the best decision is removing something rather than adding more. It is more important to have an experience that can be really soaked in themselves rather than having a list of things to do and to visit. Asking question like what are you celebrating with this trip? Change everything. It opens a conversation about emotion, not logistic. It gives meaning to every choice that follows them. Once you know the celebration, the itinerary becomes easily a kind of a narrative of their story, not a schedule. This question is simple, but it's incredibly powerful. So remember to ask your client, what are you celebrating with this trip? And transfer this information to us. So for today, this has been quite fast today, but I'd like to thank you for sharing this very fast journey with us today. And as always, we look forward to supporting you in creating romantic and meaningful and unforgettable Italian experiences for your clients. I'm sharing our contact here, and this will be, of course, also recorded. You always have our contact, our email address, booking@intertraveldmc.com. There is our website and also our Instagram page.